W, period, consciously be aware what you saying. A, accents matter, stress and expression, romance swagger. G, grammar check, conjugate the verbs, use the right verb tense. A, tengo un secreto, escúchame bien.
Hey, hola everybody, ¿cómo están? Espero se encuentren bien. Yo me llamo Jessie Feliz y yo soy la host, yo soy la presentadora de Spanish Swag. Boop, ballin'. Ok, vean, mis amigos, yo estoy bien emocionada hoy, muy super excited. I'm geeked and I'm fired up, porque tenemos una invitada tan especial y esa muchacha, vea, ella afroamericana como yo. Yeah. Nadie en tu familia, de lo que yo pienso, es hispana, pero ella es bilingüe, puro bilingüe. Ella es de California, ella profe de español, ella es escritora, autora de un librito. I mean, can we give her a round of applause? It's none than the other. We're talking about la hermosa por dentro y por fuera, CJ Charles. Give me that.
Oh my goodness, that is buena introducción. Muchísimas gracias.
Hey, see, you know, look, we gotta all level up. Level up. ¿Cómo estás, mi amiga?
Bien, estoy muy feliz de estar aquí con usted y su programa y todo de su audiencia, sus clientes y todo. So, pues, vamos a leer y conversar de todo. Estoy muy feliz.
Sí, estoy bien agradecida de tener su oportunidad de hacer una entrevista contigo, so gracias a ti. Sí. Entonces, primeramente, I always like to ask people, ¿cómo llegaste a ser bilingüe? Tell us about tu historia de aprender el español, un poquito sobre ti. Tú eres de California.
Absolutely.
Everybody, cada persona que yo conozco de California, I know, like, desde chiquitos de kinder, I'm like, ¿qué es eso? And then, you know, I always have to reference it because it's like,
they don't know.
Okay, so cuéntanos un poquito sobre ti, mi amor.
Sí, so let's see. So nací aquí in Los Angeles. I was born in California, in LA. And back in the 80s, my mom needed somebody to watch me. And the person who could watch me was our neighbor, who happened to be a Latina, que se llama Maria. Real true story. And she watched me. And so while I was developing mis habilidades de lenguaje, while I was developing my language abilities, I was learning English and Spanish at the same time. So Spanish.
At the same time.
Same time. So durante el día, during the day, I'll be with Maria and her familia, you know, the other niños that they had in the niñera. And then when I go home in the afternoon with my mom, and she only spoke English. So it was interesting how the brain, I think I was saying this before, it's interesting how the brain will separate both languages with no problems, no reasoning issues. Because I knew at home, this is how we communicate. And when I go to daycare, this is how we communicate. So I stayed there until I don't know, I guess about 3-4, when I was ready for American preschool. And by the time I went to American preschool, we had a teacher from the islands, the Caribbean, and she spoke French. And so we would do little frères jacques on the carpet. So I'm getting my influence of French while I have my, Spanish, background, y también inglés. So I was really blessed to have all three without, before it was cool and before, los bilingües were, populares, when it was just like, it was just a thing, it was my natural evolution. And so I'm so grateful for that because it's changed my whole life.
Yeah. So what about durante los años de primaria en California? I don't know. En los 80 y los 90 era diferente que lo que pasa hoy en día. Porque hoy en día, I remember even when I graduated desde la U, like you could only, aquí en Michigan, you can only be certificado para escuelas intermedia o colegio. Pero hoy en día now it's K through 12. I had to go back to add that endorsement. So I know hoy en día el enfoque es de empezar con los idiomas desde kinder, desde primaria, pero para ti en California, when you were like in elementary school, were you exposed academically, or when was your first exposure academically to el lenguaje español?
No, no tuvimos ninguna clase de español cuando éramos estábamos en kinder y los kinder, those primary years. I'm sorry, I'm getting my languages confused right now. En primaria, no tuvimos clases. Yeah, so it wasn't until I was like in a séptimo grado o algo así that, nos ofrecemos una clase de español, and it was really basic. But it was when I was in those basic classes in 7th and 8th grade that I was like, wait, I already know this stuff. But I couldn't remember cómo es posible que yo sé, la palabra para water, chocolate. I was like, oh yeah, my mom reminded me. It's because you already had this stuff when you were little with Maria. And then, so it was, but in Los Angeles in the 80s and 90s, no, it was not how it is now. Ahora tenemos un montón de programas en cualquier escuela público, privada, los dos se ofrecen programas, pero when I was younger, no. When a niña, no.
No existía, sí.
Sí.
And so, para ti, en el colegio,
Sí.
¿cuántas clases, cuántos niveles de español? ¿Durante todos los años o 2 años
No,
solamente?
solo, sí, tenía como dos o tres clases. I think I stopped at like Spanish 3.
Okay.
So, gracias a Dios, tenía buenísimos maestros. I always had very good teachers. I have to say, my educational experience was very good. But I asistía a una escuela pública. I didn't go to private school, and I still had a pretty good experience in Southern California. My teachers are the ones who invested in me in terms of not putting any limits on the fact that I was Black, and I was interested.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on a little bit. Okay, especially in California, because I know we have this concepto de ser chicano.
Sí,
and la negrita no está incluido. And so,
no.
How was that experience? Like, so, but your teacher experience, what about sus compañeros de clase? Did you have any situations where it was like any awkwardness or?
Not until mis años en la Universidad de Cal State Fullerton. So I would say that I felt pretty good. You know, I went to a school que tenía mucha diversidad. Like, we had a lot of diversity, and it wasn't, I didn't feel, now it could have been, but I didn't personally feel any limitations when I was in school. I think that that's different now for kids. But I first met problemas when I went to college. That was the first time I was like, oh,
yeah,
so I'm supposed to be in here. And también, you know, tomé clases de la historia de nuestra cultura y esclavitud. Entonces, you know, but like los efectos de esclavitud in Latin America. And then I was like, oh, okay, so now I understand más que antes. Because in high school, it wasn't an issue, just learn the words. But when I got to the university level, I was like, oh, okay, ustedes tienen problemas because sí, yo sé las palabras y también entiendo la cultura.
Sí, porque el racismo, el colorismo existen en todas las Américas.
Todas partes.
No solamente es un problema aquí en los Estados Unidos.
Sí.
Es problema por todo lado.
Todo el mundo.
Y, durante sus años en la U,
sí.
¿Tuviste la oportunidad de ser estudiante de intercambio?
Sí, tenía muchas oportunidades y gracias a Dios por todo. So yo fui a vivir en Costa Rica hace un año con una familia.
Costa Rica, pura vida.
La experiencia, you know, cambia toda de mi vida. Toda. La manera de pensar, la manera de caminar, la manera de todo. Y estaba muy... tenía mucha suerte que vivía con una familia tica que tenía una mentalidad abierta. Ellos, algunas de mis vecinos no son lo mismo, porque mis compañeras tenían una experiencia diferente, pero ellos estaban blanquitas también, you know, pero en la casa que me quedaba, it was like, ay, Cari, sí, está bien, Cari. Ellos me llamaron la chiquita alta y, you know, it was nunca que, ella es morena. Afuera de la casa, sí. Las negritas, sí. Okay. Pero en la casa, no. Ellos pensaban que era una estudiante muy buena, una persona muy buena, que tenía una familia muy buena en los estados. So it was different for me. Like, they were so amazing. And because of them, they didn't put any limits on me again. I don't put limits on myself. Sin límites, right? But cuando estaba en la comunidad, cuando estaba en la universidad, cuando estaba en la ciudad de San José, sí, tuvimos problemas, sí.
Sí, pero dígame una cosita, ¿cuál universidad asistías?
¿En Costa Rica o aquí?
¿Veritas igual como yo?
No.
¿En Costa Rica?
Sí, estaba en la Universidad de Costa Rica.
Ok, es que yo asistí a una universidad privada, Berritas.
No.
En Zapote, en San José, sí.
No.
Y yo viví también con una familia tica y se me cambió la vida 100%. Pero ¿sabe una cosa? Aunque ellos me trataban bastante bien.
Sí.
Yo recuerdo la primera vez cuando yo iba para Limón.
Ay, Limón, come on. Ellos me robaron en Limón todas mis cosas.
Sí, es así. Pero vea, yo recuerdo mi mamá tica.
Sí.
Y yo estaba con una de mis compañeras, con mi compañera de cuarto. Y
Oh, ellos tienen
Cuando,
otros estudiantes que vivían en la casa.
sí, sí, había como 4 o 2 estudiantes de intercambio. Y cada
Oh,
uno de nosotros tenemos nuestros cuartos propios,
oh.
pero tuvimos clases diferentes basado en el nivel
Ajá, sí.
de
Habilidad.
lenguaje.
Sí.
Pero la primera vez cuando queríamos irnos para Limón, para Puerto Viejo de Limón, porque
Sí,
yo,
Puerto Viejo, todos los morenos están, ¿ok? En los
sí,
jamaicos.
sí,
Ajá.
es así. Pero ella estaba bien nerviosa para nosotros, diciendo, es muy peligroso, Jessie,
Ah,
es muy peligroso.
fíjate,
Yo estaba como, tú no sabes de dónde vengo yo soy de Detroit, Michigan, yo no tengo miedo de no puerto.
I was from
Oh,
South Central Girls
Jessie.
Pop. Yes, yes.
Pero es así, es el mismo concepto, ¿por qué es peligroso? Porque hay morenitos.
Sí.
Pero los mismos problemas con ladrones existen más, me imagino, en la capital que en el Caribe.
Más y más. San José es tan peligroso. Los casinos,
Yeah.
prostitución. You don't want to be caught in the middle of the night. Like, people, I've gotten shot at in San Jose coming from a soccer game. Oh, yes, they shot the windows out of the bus. I said, oh my God, I'm going back to LA.
Okay, I ain't had that experience, but you know.
Those fools is crazy. Those
Yeah,
fools
no.
are crazy.
Sí, el centro, sí, por la noche, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Después de los clubes, when you leave like the what is it, ladies' night on jueves, los jueves?
Sí.
The cab drivers and everything. Those fools is crazy.
Yeah, but you know one thing that I really enjoyed, I never had the experience, like aquí en los Estados Unidos, like when you go to un discoteco, like un club, right? Like, you know, you still gonna do your wind and grind it, or you dance it. I mean, I'm like viejita now. I don't do all that. You can see my grain.
It hurts my ankles.
I'm not doing all that, but it's still like this. Pero one thing that I really enjoyed, at least cuando era estudiante de intercambio in San Jose, it was like, and I was a student in 2005. And it still would be like when, especially si fue un club like Latino que tocaba salsa y merengue y bachata, the men would like invite you to the dance floor, and it was
caballeros.
That I loved. I'm like, oh my
God, they're very manly. Like they're very manly,
and I'm like, I never had that experience ever here. I never in Los Estados have been sitting somewhere and a man like invited me out.
Oh, really?
Not like in the club. I'm not talking about. Sorry, I ain't talking about like
dancing for real. Yeah, like
dancing like a partner dance. And I was like, this is so exciting. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's very
I mean, we do ballroom dance. I will say in Detroit, like now that I'm older, but I'm saying my younger years, I hadn't experienced that. I'm sorry.
It's a wonderful feeling. And it's some of those little moments that did occur in Costa Rica that you're just like, that never happens at home. Like that never, like, dang. But yeah, in Costa Rica, I don't know about you, but I had a lot of attention. And I don't, doing an interview, but I don't like mucha atención personal. I have to go out of my comfort zone, you know, promoting the book and stuff like that. I really have to put myself out there, but I don't like that. But so in Costa Rica, it would happen all the time, just because I'd be walking around con, you know, llevando mis Nikes. And of course,
con ropa americana.
Why? Because I'm Americana. And then it's like, oh my God, ella está alta. Ay, es morenita. Ay, la negrita. And I'm always just like, could you please? Déjame en paz, fool. Like, leave me alone. Like, I'm just walking to the bus stop. So there were just so many things, but I really, I felt like I could hear. Sorry, someone was on me. I really felt like I could hear in Costa Rica because it's un poco más lento, right? La sociedad es un poco lentamente. So you have time to think. And I began to like put my life together and what I wanted. But I could hear because the sky, I know this sounds strange, but like como el cielo está lleno de azul y los colores todo. And so you spend like 20 minutes in the morning like, wow, the sky is blue. There, like so you just have these moments calm down. So when I returned from Costa Rica, my sister tells everyone I had problems readjusting.
My bed
that
culture shock is a mother scrubber. You hear me? But and it's not necessarily like what we perceive as culture on the tangible. But it's because oftentimes we talk about la cultura, right? We think about the tangible things. Oh, la gente come tamales para la Navidad.
Right, let's start. Right.
Or baile y toca esa música. Those are all tangible. But culture is so much more than that. It's so much más profundo. It's mindsets.
Yes.
Es la conversación. La manera de comportarse. Es un ritmo de vivir.
Sí.
And so when you have the opportunity, that's why I absolutely implore and suggest so often, if people can do a study abroad program,
yes,
like you said, that it can change not just your life, but like it changes your trajectory because it impacts your mindset.
And
because
I also
you see
think
la manera de vivir otras personas en el mismo mundo, pero es diferente.
Yeah,
El
and the
mismo
crazy part
planeta,
is,
pero con mundos diferentes más.
no, sí, lo siento, me disculpa. I didn't realize too that it changed the people around me. So I feel like they lived through my experience, because I didn't know anyone else in my family. Antes que, estaba viajando, and antes que, yo fui a Costa Rica, no sabía ninguna persona, lo siento, no conocía ninguna persona que that have moved to Costa Rica or who moved outside of Los Angeles County, who moved out of Southern California. Okay, yeah, vivimos in like Nueva Orleans y también como like Tennessee, but I'm talking about like a real move. Like, yeah, that's a culture shock too, but I'm talking about like a real move where you're just like, oh crap, like I need to relearn things I didn't know. And I didn't know that people were watching. And I feel like my experience changed the lives of myself and the trajectory, like you're saying, of the people around me. Like my younger cousins now, they're traveling to Rome and they're in Italy and they're in Spain. And I'm like, because I know when I was like, hey guys, I saw the Roman Colosseum. I went to this playa and it was muy hermosa. And people are just like, what? And I'm like, never mind. But now they're doing it. And I'm tengo celos un pocosito, because I'm like, I wish I could have discussed that with you when I was doing it. I had to do it first. So people could know that it was okay. But
that's why I always tell people la representación importa, right? And so you were like a pioneer in this concept of traveling, studying abroad. And so because they have that esa representación, it like almost unlocks.
It does. It makes it okay.
It plants that seed, maybe it waters it, but it definitely plays a role when it's someone, especially someone from your hood, someone de tu familia or de tu comunidad. That can do it. Oh, she did it. CJ did it. Yo también. And so that's why representation is muy importante. Because you're talking about like your experiences even with classes. I know for me, el último año de asistir al colegio, yo era como una de las únicas morenitas en mi clase de español. And I went to school where like 3/4 of our school was afroamericano.
Siempre es así. Y también en the workplace también. Siempre es así. Siempre soy la única. Y cuando tengo la oportunidad de conocer personas como usted, I'm like, oh my God, mi amigo, mi amor, mi vida. No, you can never leave me, no, por favor. Like, estoy muy feliz y emocionada para conocerte y AC Quintero y todas las mujeres morenitas. Somos la misma. And we don't know. Like, and so Black children of color, mixed kids, whoever, I don't care. You have to see us.
Yes.
We are you generations ahead, and you are, and we're like, honestly, I was just talking to my sister about this today. We are turning around and pulling back. We are turning around and saying, come with me. We are turning around, and it is amazing. It is blowing my mind. Like, I've been vending like a crazy person the last 2 months, and it is amazing to me how many people of color are coming up to me. It's amazing, and they're like, oh, well, I kind of wrote a book too, and what do you think I could? Well, would you read it? And I'm like, well, I'm like, I'm not a publisher. I'm not an editor. I'm like, I can send it to my girl. But the fact that we're doing these things that we think are just living our dreams, we're crafting a dream for someone else. And it's blowing my mind, because I'm like, okay, like, I didn't know people were watching. I didn't know you were paying attention. Like, I didn't know.
Guess what you just said. Guess what you just triggered. Saludos y felicitaciones. I'm thinking about la nueva vicepresidenta, Francia Márquez de Colombia. And what is her slogan? Soy porque somos.
Yes.
So what you just said, that is it. Soy porque somos.
You got that right.
Yes.
It's not just this individualistic, fill in the blank, centric, colonizer oriented mentality. No, we know we are communal beings. And it's like I'm all the way up, but it's not just I. Soy porque somos. We are all in this together. And so again, because of that representación,
it makes it
right. And then considering all those things. So before we talk about tu librito,
what's that? I like it.
Yes, right. I do want to ask you, okay, so you said aparte de Costa Rica, ¿ha estudiado en otros lugares o ha visitado, viajado a otras comunidades, países hispanos? want to know un poquito más. So, you studied Spanish en la universidad, o cómo llegaste a ser profe de español?
Oh, wow. Well, that's una historia loca. So yes, sí. He viajado a muchos lugares. Me encanta viajar. So, por ejemplo, fui a España muchas veces. Oh my gosh. Let's see, Nicaragua, Panamá. Let's see, fuimos a Italia y también Francia y muchos estados en los estados. Let's see, what's the little small place? Or the Vatican City. What's a small place? Monaco was amazing. It's very small, but it's very amazing. Where else have I been? I think I've just been like to 7 countries. But this summer I'll be.
Well, put your pinky up, darling. You said I've only been to 7 countries.
Only been 7, but there's mucho más para encontrar. No, and then this summer, so in como like tres semanas voy a Francia otra vez para visitar Paris y también voy a Germany. I never been to Germany, so fuimos a iremos a una ciudad en Alemania y también then we're going to Switzerland. So I'm just going to do those 3 to add to my list. So I'm excited. I haven't been to Paris. You know, Paris is a black city. And you know I'm taking this book with me to Paris and finding me black bookstores. Did you know that? I'm telling you I am.
I know you are. Okay, so let's transition.
Okay.
Aparte de ser bilingüe, aparte de ser de...
Permíteme. Lo siento. You asked me how to become a teacher. Okay, so really quickly, I graduated from school, me gradué de la universidad, and I started working in a law firm. So I wanted to quisiera ser una abogada. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to work in intellectual property or maritime law. So random, I know. And I worked at I was working downtown LA and I got fired. They fired me. And I was devastated. So at the same time, I'd already taken my LSTATs and I had gotten into law school and I deferred for a year because they said, oh, you should have legal experience. That's how I was working at the law firm and blah, blah, blah. Got fired. And I'm like, dang, I have rent to pay. I had a new little Corolla. I was like, what am I going to do? So I was going to substitute teach. So I started substitute teaching and people kept seeing on my resume that I'd gone to Costa Rica and I lived there. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to. No, I'm just here because I don't know what else to do yet. And I started getting all these Spanish sub jobs. Anyway, I ended up getting a job teaching Spanish in Huntington Beach here in California. And that's how I became a Spanish teacher. It was not my plan at all. Not at all.
And so now I have to inject everyone that listens to my podcast, watch my interviews. They all know that I am really big on palabras, citas, versículos, like quotes, verses, words of wisdom. They resonate with me. And as soon as you're speaking, and I keep I have como like 10 papelitos llena de citas aquí en mi oficina. And one that I want to connect to what you were just talking about. Es un dicho en español que dice, no hay mal que por bien no venga. No hay mal que por bien no venga, right? Imagine, it's just que, and it's hard sometimes when you're living in the situation,
yes,
right? I can imagine what you were feeling like in that momentito, right? And how you feel is real. No one's like, oh, no hay mal que por bien no venga. Smile on your face.
In the moment, right.
Right, but on that momento, but like we can recognize stuff in hindsight. I'm trying to get to that Jedi level where in the moment, instead of hindsight, I'm like, yes, I'm good. Pero en serio, like, they say, cuando una puerta cierra,
otro abierta,
es así. Pero no hay mal que por bien no venga. It's not saying that la cosa mala no es mala. No, es así. Es una maldad. Who wants to be fired? Oh, thanks for firing me. Like,
thanks so much for walking me to the door. Thank you.
Right. There goes my check and my needed experience to continue this program. But we talk about that trajectory, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes los planes que tenemos nosotros no son parte del camino. And so I'm actually happy now. I'm not happy that you got fired. But I'm happy that you are continuing along this camino, along this journey, because it's único para ti, it's especial para ti. And so that door, una puerta cerrada,
kicked open a whole life.
Something that you were not even thinking of.
No, I never in a million years. I always thought Spanish was fun. Like, I really thought it was fun to eavesdrop on other people's conversations. I thought it was funny to say, like, cualquier palabra, que yo say. And then, like, oh, I always speak in Spanglish, right? So I'd be like, yeah, my girl, she was tripping, and then and people were like, why do you do that? I'm like, well, because I don't want you to hear that part. So especially when I'm comfortable with somebody, it really starts rolling off my tongue. But it's Spanish has given me my whole life. It's given me a career. It's giving me confidence. It's giving me an opportunity to open doors for other people. It's giving my whole life. So I always say to people, you never know what a child at school, like, los intereses, like, don't laugh at their interests. If they like ceramics can change their whole life and give them it can give them a whole career. If that kid likes photography, I have a good friend who I had Spanish. I thought it was fun. And she was in the photography class. And now she's a celebrity photographer. And when I say she's created a life for herself, it is an outstanding life she's created for herself. And so you cannot poo-poo a child's interest. And it's important for you to let kids develop interest, and don't pigeonhole them and say, well, you can't do that because you're girl, boy, black, short, tall, chubby, skinny, whatever. Don't do that, because the few words that I was taught, it gave me my whole life. It's given me a career that I couldn't have, pictured it or, planned it better myself. Because what you're saying about when you make plans and God makes, God start laughing, it's true. Because I thought I was going to be a high-powered attorney living, in some, I don't know, place in LA. And my life is not that at all.
So, ¿y por cuántos años han sido maestra?
17.
Wow.
17. Yeah, it's been a while.
And I'm saying the wow of, like, you still are speaking of joy with your profession and what you do, especially con la pandemia. But let me just pull up and skirt. If one more person say due to the pandemic, folks were feeling how they were feeling beforehand. Okay.
They just acknowledged it because of the pandemic, because before people would minimize how you felt. And now because so many more people, and it's maybe controversial, but honestly, because so many more men started feeling it and so many people who are not Moreno started feeling it, then it becomes an emotion of value. But people of color have been feeling this for years, but now because it affects you, now everyone cares. But that's a whole nother interview. We won't go there, but I'm just saying.
I ain't mad about you going there. I do want to talk about your book. I am not mad about you going there because I'm so over these folks.
It was a conversation, but
Jessica, no hay mal porque por bien no venga. Remember, Jessie. Like, what are real talk? Like, no, it's real. Because 1000% is real. When I think about las injusticias, existían antes de llegó el coronavirus. Y todavía existen. It's just now it's like the veil's been lifted. So todos el problemas, las estructuras, los sistemas. It's just now it's like, hi, here's this injustice. And now we have these. Everyone can record.
I was going to say, y también los videos, right? If we didn't have the videos. Right.
It's not, no hay nada nuevo bajo el sol. Pero es así. Okay, so after the la maldad of being fired, you were thrusted in esa carrera de ser profe. And years later, all your experiences, how did you arrive to become an author of this amazing, I'm claiming in advance, if it can be a New York bestseller, but we claim in advance.
It's going to be, yes, ma'am. Okay, so.
A scholastic, we're looking for something, scholastic book. We try and do some things right there. So how did you arrive to this? Tell us. And first of all, please, hay que seguir ella, this queen, en Instagram, my_mother_, she want to let y'all know, is __ a_ superhero. Don't get it twisted. Add those guion bajitos, okay?
Gracias.
My mother is a superhero. So tell us, how did you arrive to write this amazing text?
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. I love my mother. The older I get, the more I appreciate her more and more. No tengo niños en este momento, pero ella tenía 2 y ella no tenía las mismas resources que tengo hoy. So I don't know how she was able to raise 2 little girls from South Central.
Mama.
And my sister's a principal, and I'm out here doing these things. And we couldn't be more grateful to her. She taught us about unconditional love. And when I say a mother who put their kids first, she put whatever dreams that she may have had that I'm unaware of. she put them aside so my sister and I could have and be all that we have and could be. And the least that I can do is say thank you. And so when I was in Costa Rica, you know, I would start just playing around with stuff because I had a lot of free time. I started writing stuff and putting some things down to paper. And I decided that I wanted to write a book about my mom. I've been writing since primer grado, since first grade. I've been writing. I make up little stories. When the teacher would say, make, vocabulary sentences, girl, I'm like, oh, can I write a story? I'm like, can I underline the words? I would have a page and a half. I remember being like 6 and 7, a page and a half on 10 vocabulary words, irritating my classmates because they'd be like,
but remember you talk about los intereses, los niñitos, right?
Yeah.
That was a foreshadow for what was to come.
But I didn't think it was anything. No one thought it was anything, right? But like I said, tenía maestra. I mean, I had the bombest teachers who would let me read my stories out to the class. And that gave me my, voice. So anyway, so all of those experiences, I'm in Costa Rica and I had some free time on the bus, traveling from one part of the país to the other part of the país on different, excursiones y todo. And I just I want to write a story about Mom's a Superhero. So I've written this story 8 times. And it took me 12 years from the very, very beginning, the very first time I put something on the page to what I have now. It took me 12 years. I've gone through 8 different versions and I work with 5 different illustrators because it wasn't right. And no soy perfeccionista, but I'm like, when I do something, it has to be right. Like my grandparents taught me, do it right the first time. So I didn't want to have a second edition to get it, all the things I should have put in there. So no, I
12 años y 8 versiones del librito. What happened during each version of the book? Did you was the plot slightly different or?
No, the plot has always been the same, but I kept thinking about what kind of books did I like when I was little? And I like 2 different forms of books. I like the books that had the flip up pockets and you can pull stuff out of. I thought those were, especially during the holidays, you get those from Hallmark store. And I like books that rhymed. Well, I tried dibujándolo. I tried drawing it myself to see if I can do the mom pops out of the bed. No soy artista, okay? No, I'm soy escritora, no artista. And so I was like, okay. So I kept working with different people to see if that was what she looked like. When I described her to people, when I sent pictures of myself as a kid, I needed to find the artist who I was like, that's me, that's her, and a cartoon character. And I couldn't. People did great jobs. Don't get me wrong. Anybody's watching this, they did a fantastic job. But it wasn't her. And when I would put what I imagined as the character Justine, and with the words, it wasn't the matchup. So I needed to take the time, and I would put it away for years at a time, and I'll bring it out, and I'll put it away, and I'd write other stories. I have so many other stories I'm going to come out with. But one day, literally, it was during the pandemic. I got a new business mentor. It was during the pandemic. I was sitting on the couch, and I was like, I need to finish this because it fell off the bookshelf. It fell on the floor. I have a file that was this thick of different versions, and I kept them on little plastic sleeves. The teacher made, and it fell. And I was like, I looked on the floor, and I was sitting there because there was nowhere to go. And I'm like, why don't I just finish this book? And then one day, I think it took me about 6 hours. I did in 6 hours what I couldn't do in 12 years. But I was also ready. I was also more mature. I was also ready. I had a story to tell, and I could explain my mom now better than I could when I was 20 something. So I literally 6 hours, I finished it all. I went to Fiverr. I found me an editor. She's phenomenal. I put it in Spanish. While she was editing the English, I went ahead and put it in Spanish. I found me an editor in Spanish on Fiverr. I went through.
Make sure you send me los nombres de ellos, de los editores, because I'm working on a graphic novel I told you about with my students, and I do need an editor, a legit editor. I don't need nobody acting like they.
My English and my Spanish. So my Spanish editor is Argentinian, and then I also have a Mexican editor, and of course they do the words differently because I'm writing in Costa Rican Spanish, so it's three different Spanishes. So I got to go behind them and be like, no, that's not what I meant. No. But they are phenomenal. And then my English editor, I love her so much. She will get something together, and you're like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. You're like, oh, that's so great. So I did that, and I found my editor, my illustrator. She popped up to me on Instagram because the phone listens to me, so it popped her up, and we had a conversation. We got on Zoom.
Google.
Google will pull up. Yes, the phone listens to you. So yeah, it literally came together in about 3 weeks. It all came together. I went online. I found me a printer, but everyone's surprised that I self-published this book. Everyone's surprised. They're like, oh, it's such a good quality. I was like, first of all, stop being surprised. And yes, I was like, I'm a teacher. I have read so many children's books. And when I was teaching elementary school as a Spanish teacher, I would have the kids buy books in Spanish, los, prima readers, and we would read their books together. And so I had like 60, 70 books in Spanish because the kids didn't want them. Had a whole library. And I would sit and read them. And I opened the front of the books. I would go to Barnes and Noble and sit on the floor until literally they kicked me out because I wanted to make sure that I had the first page of a book right, that I had the right spine, that it felt the same. La cantidad y la cualidad son lo mismo de los in the stores. I wanted to make sure that it was not a book that was going to look like I had just made it at the house during the pandemic. No, I had it to be a book of quality. So I took the time with it. I did the research. I have literally on the table right now, I'm working on the coloring book. I went and ordered like 7 coloring books of people of color because I was like, okay, I want to make sure that that's the same quality is so important to me, whether you do it at home or whether you're with a publisher. People rejected my story multiple times. And I said, well, I don't need you. So I went online.
Hey, hold up. You ready? Here's the next quote. Stop thinking that opposition is a sign that the territory is not for you.
Please.
That comes from Robert Madu.
Girl,
I told you I got these quotes. I have to stay. I gotta say, can I read an excerpt? This is de la primera página. Pienso que es la primera o la segunda. No, es como la segunda. And I'm going to have my daughter, she's an avid reader in English. I need to make sure she's reading just as well in Espanol, but I'm going to have my daughter read an excerpt and I'm going to make sure I record it and upload it. Pero this is just so profound. And what I love about your book, and again, your book is called My Mother is a Superhero. Mi mamá es una superheroína. And I love it so much because of let me just be callada and just read what I got to read. Okay. Mi mami es una superheroína y nadie lo sabe además de mí. My mother's a superhero. No one knows but me. Ella no vuela, no es invisible o mueve cosas con su mente. She doesn't fly, become invisible, or move things with her mind. Pero ella es una superheroína de un tipo diferente. That is because she's a superhero of a whole different kind. And I don't want to spoil it because I want readers to purchase this book. Again, follow CJ Charles online, my_mother_is_a_superhero. So you can get her link so you can purchase this book and support this amazingly talented and compassionate, beautiful, Black and bilingual queen de California. But it's so important, I think, for this book to be read. Espero que lo lean en las escuelas, pero más importante en las casas. Or también, just as important, because me reading this con mi hija, we can make these connections. Not saying like, oh, I'm not like a...
But it feels different.
It feels different, but it's still good. Whether it needs to be read with children para que ellos puedan apreciar lo que tienen. Because I think we live in this privilege, this pseudo privilege, wannabe state of mind. But the fact, mamá usa sus superpoderes para calmar el carro y para no avergonzarnos cuando pasamos por la ciudad. And also, everyone is reading it. I love it so much. The images showing, because oftentimes we take for granted just like the so-called cosas diariamente, like que hacemos. But the fact that, and I frequently often try to refer to with my students, hay que apreciar lo que tiene. Tienen cama, tienen casa, tienen padres que trabajan para ti, tienen luz, tienen comida. We take for granted. But this is just such a great read and is bilingual. And I love that the certain words that you selected to change the color, to highlight and make that connection. I just love it. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
How did your mom receive it?
She's done well. So every stage of the book, I sent her the still pictures when she did some sketches, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, it's like you're really doing this." I'm like, "Yes." Then I sent her, just the words, with no pictures and stuff like that, and she read it, and it makes her cry, I'm like, Mother, you can never say I do nothing for you. I wrote you a whole book. I'm like, your friends got a book? No, your friends got a book? Nobody. Okay, I did that for you. I did that for us. But I think she feels validated as well. Being a single mother, no shade to my dad. He's wonderful as well. But being a single mother in Los Angeles, I know it was very challenging because white people make a lot of comments as to, you're raising these girls on your own and basically you're going to do them harm is basically the message that we give women often. And I think that it validates her whole experience, like every struggle, every, night, every worry, it makes her feel like it was all for something. And I really want to make sure the second half of her life is just even more extraordinary than the first half. So I think it makes her feel great. When we're out vending, she is more of an internet celebrity than I am. People come take pictures with her. And I'm at the booth. I'm like, hi, would you like the book? And they're like, oh my God, is this your mother? Is this your mother? People, just happened a couple days ago. And I'm like, yeah, they take pictures with her. They post them online. She is loving every moment of it. And I'm happy that she's happy about it. I'm so proud of her and I'm so grateful to her. So if this book is all that I want it to be all that it can be. I want her to take every picture, smile for every photo, sign every book. I want her to do all of that because she deserves it. So she's happy.
En medio de todo, vale la pena. Vale la pena con todo. Sí, es difícil. And I even think como una mamá, it also it touches moms too. And it can be touching for un papá as well. Sí. Pero para mí como madre y también como profe, me hace sentir muy bien, apreciada as well because, because let's just keep it real. Let's keep it extra 100. Sí. I'm going to keep it up. As mi amiga de New York says, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it a buck right quick.
Okay, bring me that book. Yes.
Right. And it's just like, when you're in the moment, whether it's teaching, I equate good parenting, active parenting rather, with active teaching. They're basically one and the same because your first teacher viene desde casa, right? It's right there. And it just makes me feel sometimes as if, we can think about the exciting things. Oh, I'm paying for this program, or I bought her this dress, or I made this special meal. Right. Pero lo que tú haces diariamente con sus alumnos, lo que tú haces diariamente con sus niños, con sus hijos, sí. That, it may not be the exciting pizzazz and all this stuff.
Pero ellos están mirándote, and people forget that. Like, I had one of the sweet, I did an interview, I believe with the Australian interviewer. She's phenomenal. She was telling me that she makes, there's a teacher in Tennessee. She was making chicken nuggets and something for her kids one night. And she was just like, oh my gosh, she felt like a terrible mom that this is all she's going to put on the table. When she handed those chicken nuggets to the kids, they were like, you're the best mom ever. And they're hugging her. And so she got teary-eyed when she saw the page in the book about the mom cooking, because she just says like, she didn't realize that, frozen food made her kids so happy. And in their eyes, she was this amazing parent. And I said, we have to stop saying like what a woman does on a daily basis is not something that should be applauded. I'm like, you should be applauded when you wake up in the morning and turn on the light. Like, everything you do should be applauded, and we should feel that way. And she didn't. But the book, she's like, oh my God. And I was like, really? We never had a new car or a nice car. We never. So that page in the book about my mom holding the car down, that's for real. Like, we've had to push cars, not because they ran out of gas. They just turned off on the middle of the street. We've waited for we've walked, but we always did it together. And I've never been ashamed about anything we had to go. I've never been ashamed ever. I'd be like, well, we got to get to walking. Got to leave early. Like, oh, well, my mom's got to go to work. We got to meet her. It was so writing the book to me. Like I said, I always say it's my love letter to my mother and to motherhood in general. So it is my love letter. I couldn't be more proud of women in general, parents who hold it down. I don't care what you look like, what you're holding it down. That child, especially that little girl, is looking at you. She is watching you. She is trying to be you. And you have to, take care of yourself because it's taking care of her. And in the long run, what you do for her now, she's going to flip that and turn it tenfold for you. Like, my mom doesn't even know what I'm planning to do for her in the next, 0 to however many days, just the blessings, because she's blessed me and I get to, so anyway, it's a whole thing. But I love motherhood, and it's my love letter, So,
girl, this whole time I'm just reciting Tupac's lyrics. I'm gonna make sure I add that to the track because I'm just listening, dear mama, the whole time. It's just that's the vibe I'm on right now. This is such a beautiful thing. And so you will have a coloring book coming out soon.
I do. Coloring book / activity guide is on its way. I'm excited about all my bookmarks, and we have gibbets, which apparently are been a hit. I didn't know gibbets were a thing. I call them.
What are gibbets? I see. I got some of the bookmarks right here con los caracteres. What
so
are
that's
gibbets?
Tatuaje. You have a tattoo. You have stickers. And gibbets.
Oh, this was a tattoo.
Yes, tatuajes. See.
I love it.
Yeah, if your daughter's allowed to, please put it on. I can send you some more. Yeah, gibbets are the croc charms. I didn't know that. Can you pause for just a second?
Yo no puedo, pero I can't pause because it's live.
Oh,
no, está bien.
Está bien para.
Sí, vete para allá.
Okay.
Hey, I want to know what these gibbets are. I nunca he oído un gibbet. I'm like, gibbet. Does that sound like some giblets? Is that what the people eat? I don't eat giblets. I don't eat no giblets. Or is it? I did not say. Is it giblets or giblets? What do people eat? ¿Qué come la gente? I don't know what people eat.
No puedo.
No, pero cuéntame. Es que vea, I don't eat everything what everybody eats. Are they called giblets? Or is it giblets?
You know what? I am
giblets.
Amiga. Giblets.
What is it? Giblet. What is it? Giblet. I'm about to look this up on Google. What is it? A giblet or a giblet?
Stupid. It is called a giblet. They are those stupid shoe charms.
Okay, enséñame. ¿Qué es un giblet?
Okay, so son ellos. Espera, okay. So these are the para sus shoes, para sus zapatos. Those croc charms. I thought they were used to be called croc charms, but now they've changed and the kids call them giblets.
Is that what they call them in California? I ain't never heard no giblet. I
thought they were called croc charms. This weekend, this young lady told me, no, CJ, some gym. I was okay. The kids wear these on their shoes and little cracks. And I had some made on a whim. And these suckers are so popular. So
what do we need to do to support you so that we can get your products?
I love it.
In Target or wherever. Okay, necesitamos hacer, because I'm seeing a whole bunch of people in Target. Yes, I'm going to be tagging Target with this. I'm seeing a whole lot of people. And for anyone that's not de la cultura afroamericana, we call Target. I don't know. That's what
Please call it what it is.
But I just want to know, what can we do to support you? Not saying that has to be the only outlet. Of course, visit, follow this beautiful queen and Instagram, my_mother_is_a_superhero, please, and purchase her book. Her link is right there para comprar. Oh, wow. Is that a little paquete? ¿Qué es esto?
Sí, lo hice. Es un paquete de stickers, and están incluidos como 5 stickers. You get 5 stickers in the pack. So you get that, girl, and then when you do order, I've been working, girl. So when you order your shoe charm, it comes in nice little packaging. Tenemos magnets. Tenemos muchas cosas. Y pendientes también. We have cute necklaces. I have been working really hard. She's closed, Justine. Yeah, working really hard.
Girl, see you all the way up. I love it. Nothing can stop you. All the way up.
Marcus,
look at that.
Okay, that's
okay. So, and vea, look at you tienes. No, yo no tengo eso.
Oh, let me put some more in the mail for you. Not a problem. On top of it.
Wait a minute. Cuéntame una cosita. Okay, I'm right now on your Instagram.
Okay.
When I click on your square link, it takes me para comprar el librito.
Sí, pero si una persona quería, tener las otras cosas, solo send me a DM, and then I will send it out to you. I was hesitant to put them online because I just didn't know if people would be interested. But apparently, I'm crazy for not doing that.
So I'm gonna need you, boo, make a link tree, and then on your link tree, then you have cada enlace.
Book,
buy the sticker. You can do it. I see.
No, link tree. Did you tell me that before? Right now, I feel like
I think maybe
I'm like, wait, that sounds familiar to me. But yeah, I finalmente, I have everything came back. Like I've been like botones y todo. So, and I have my acrylic pins. These are my favorite. I wear these at work all the time. People stick them to your little lapels. But I'm going to, yes. So this is una marca. Okay, this is like the newest thing. This is not just me writing a book. I love her. She's my favorite character. I want other little girls to love her too. We have book number 2 coming out before the end of the year. It's going to be a celebration of her teacher's a superhero. And I'm able to introduce all kind of great new little characters. So, and they're literally, we'll talk about that later, but they're literally all the kids I went to school with. I put them in a book. So their kids can see their parents in a book, which I think is going to be really cool. So my girl is almost finished illustrating that one. We got the coloring book coming out. This is my life, and I'm excited to be a real author. I want to encourage writers to write. If you say that you are a writer, please write. Write on envelopes, write on Post-its, write on anything you can. If you want to be a writer, then write. If you want to see a story, I don't care who already made it. There's many stories about parents being a superhero. I just want to be honest. I'm not the first one to do it, but I'm the first one to do it my way.
Hey, look, everybody always talk about like, well, Brianna, how are you going to come out with your own makeup line? There's already makeup line, and now she is banging with the beat. Right. I don't know. And how many different burger joints are there along the same block?
On Target, and there was a Kmart. There's Office Depot, Office Max, and Staples. Do we need all three? But I bet you they're there. Best Buy, and they're so I tell people all the time. People say, yeah, I have a story, but I already saw it at the store. But they didn't see your version of it.
Yes.
Put it in Spanish. I haven't found any of the superhero books that are bilingual. I'm like, put it in Spanish. Put characters that make stuff current. Like, if whatever your reality, my reality is I have, as you can see here, that I need help combing. So that's what's in the book. If, you got to put your own spin on something. But if you're a writer, then write the stories that you don't see. I got that quote off of Instagram. I don't know who it belongs to, but it's not mine. Write what you don't see. Write your reality. There's nothing wrong with your real life. If you're poor, then you're poor. Then write about the joys of being that, or whatever you feel. If you're well-to-do, write about that. Everyone doesn't have to be, come from the sticks, but write. If you're a writer, write. If there's a program that you want that you don't see, create the program. If there is a profession and you don't see enough of whoever you need to see in it, then you go be in it. If there's not enough Spanish speakers who are Black, then go learn Spanish.
If you want to be French, and do it with that swag.
And do it with all the swag. Don't change who you are because you're in an environment where you're the only one. I'm always this way. People say I'm always
hold up. Say that again, because I need you to repeat that. Don't change who you are. Say that again, Queen.
Don't change who you are because you're in an environment where you're the only one. Don't change who you are because you have to fit in. You weren't meant to fit in. That's why you're the only one there, because you was the only one he gave the blessing to. So go on ahead and be who you're supposed to be while you're in the moment. I'm always the only me or there. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm always the only one. And everybody remembers me, because I want you to remember that I want you to memorize the blessing that came by your way. Like, I'm not even trying to overhype it, but it's the truth. If you want to learn how to surf and you don't see no other people, then you be the one then go learn to swim. If you want to go do it. You have to create the life that you want for yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. And if you're constantly waiting on somebody to represent you, then you're going to be waiting forever. You be the representation. You be the first one, the second one, the third. That's who you got to be. That's the blessing that we have on us. And I think we forget that, right? And then you realize that there's other people like you out there, that you're not an X-Men. You're not alone. We found each other, and we're still wives.
I know. Oh my gosh, I'm so inspired. You got this fire. Look, I got these quotes. Here's another one. This is from Rest in Peace, King T'Challa. I always call him King T'Challa. I know his real name was Chadwick Boseman, but he did so much for the world. And he said, your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. And I love that I'm gonna give you chills. It's wrapped up.
Wrapped, it is.
It's just, but we gotta do we gotta unravel. We gotta get rid of some layers so we can walk in that camino, and just do the dang thing. Oh, I love it. Oh, look, CJ, you got the bomb. You got it. Oh, I'm so excited. I just send you nothing but buenas vibras, luz, paz, amor, prosperidad, bendiciones. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. But you know what? I appreciate the platform that you have created from an idea. This is an idea, right? And nobody
from the bottom now. Yeah.
I'm telling you, nobody taught you. There was no blueprint for us. I was telling someone recently, we are creating the blueprint for those who are watching us. There was no one who taught you how to get on StreamYard. And I'm sure it was frustrating at times. There was no one tells us these things. We have to find these things out the hard way on our own. So I want to continue to encourage you, y también su audiencia, your audience, and everyone who's watching. No one told you it was going to be easy, but we can do it. And there are others like us out here. There is un montón de morenitos que están haciendo cosas increíbles. We just don't know it because part of the plan is to keep us separated and isolated. But I promise you, if you have an idea, a thought, a plan, and you're willing to do the work and have courage, because it takes courage to do this. There's a lot of no's and there's a lot of frustration. But if you have courage and you have an idea, then come on. Like we are here. There's Jessie's, there's me's, there's AC Quintero, there's London. Like there's so many people. There's so many of us, different parts of the world. Like I just want to encourage everybody: be brave, have courage, and do what you think you can't do. Whatever that smallest dream is in your heart, then you can make it. Because this literally, I have some stuff just here in a bucket right now. But I'm like, when I looked at this stuff and when I'm vending, I'm like, oh my God, like, do you know I didn't know that this was a business card that you put on the pen? You know how long it took me to figure that out? I didn't know that. I didn't know anyone who contacted suppliers in China. I didn't know I needed to use it. Like, there's just things I didn't know, and I know you didn't know. And it makes me so happy to meet you, and it's so happy to be here and to be able to
document
this journey. Like Spanish swag, like, dude, I saw that. I said, wait a minute. I said, who is this Jessie Feliz? Who is this? Because I was like, oh my gosh, she's me in Detroit. Like, then there's me in Chicago with AC. There's you're in California. You don't even know it. Like, it's amazing. So my hat goes off to you. I'm so excited for you. I love that you have dude, I can go on and on about you.
Look, this is just, I'm so thankful. I really do believe that with la nueva vicepresidenta de Colombia, I have to keep saying this, her quote just sums it up.
It resonates.
Soy porque somos.
Sí, porque somos unidas. And we have to remember that we are really united. Don't feel alone. You're not. We're here in the universe. And what's wonderful about the world is that somehow when you put the right vibes out there, the right people will come your way, right? You attract who you are. And everything you're feeling, that's what you're attracting. So if you're saying, I'm incredible, then you're going to attract incredible people. If you're saying this, this good vibes, so you just send them out to the universe, you're going to get them back. And I don't know how much, I tell people all the time, I'm like, stop it. Stop the negativity because you're going to attract more of it. But if you think like, I'm a writer, like all these opportunities have come to me, just like coming here, like this is such a blessing. Like you're blessing me tremendously. You don't even know it. Like, it's
girl, reciprocity. Wait, why Lauren Hill teaches that word? Ain't none of us know that word, or at least me. Nobody knew.
I didn't know it. I had to look it up.
But we all were singing it, and I was like,
"What can you spell that? Is that an I? Reciprocity?
Right.
Is an I in there? Like Lauren and Lauren Hill inspired me.
She's reciprocity, like like you said, putting it out there, you receive it, doing it, unwrapping, finding your. Es tu propósito, el propósito de tu vida, being agradecido. Because straight up, it's like illogical to think that, like, what does it say? No hay mal que por bien no venga, right?
Sí.
That does not mean that there aren't going to be cosas malas que le te pasen en su vida. Like, that's called life.
Sí.
Pero no hay mal que por bien no venga. Like, it's still like, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm on this combination of Maya Angelou, Malcolm X, Booker T, MLK, and all mis antepasados. I just feel like, look, we got this one shot at life, so why not? And somebody, why not? ¿Por qué no? ¿Por qué no? Or are we just gonna sit up here and be consumers? Just consume, and just
complain. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Lo siento mucho. I said something.
No, you don't say that. Lo siento, girl. It's just straight facts. So I don't know. I'm just like, I'm so thankful. I am so thankful. Bien agradecida por ti, por tu tiempo, por lo que tú estás haciendo, tu trabajo, tu energía, tu perspectiva. Oh my goodness. I cannot wait until we can connect persona a persona.
Sí. Necesitamos a planear algo.
Vea, esto es lo que va a pasar. El año próximo, primeramente voy a tener una conferencia aquí en Detroit y también en México. I'm trying to do it in Costa Rica. I'm trying to organize it all.
Let me know. I'm there. Rain or shine.
Yes.
I gotta crawl. Whatever you need me for. But yeah, I just this is absolutely fantastic, and I love that the kids in Detroit and the families in Detroit have the opportunity just to come into contact with you. And
I'm not even limited. Estoy basado en Detroit, Michigan, pero virtualmente yo tengo algunos estudiantes en California, en Texas, Washington. Yeah, I do. I'm
Increíble.
working with everybody. And you know what? That's one thing. I wrote, se cayó, pero I had another quote, but it was my personal quote. Cuando empezó con la pandemia, I wrote, it fue mi oración. I said, God, I'm about to master this online teaching thing.
Please,
and I put it up there because I feel like la misma energía that we bring to the classroom, la aula física, you got to bring that online as well. And that you still can be effective and reach and teach children online. I'm excited to be back in persona this summer, my summer program. Pero it's como like, right, hey. But at the same time, we can do this. We can do this. And I'm excited for the journey.
I'm excited for the journey and for the documentation. Someone recently told me I need to be documenting what's going on more for, you know, and I was just like, oh, I didn't think, you know, I thought it was kind of corny or like, I don't know, weird. And they're like, no, you have to document it. And then I changed my thought process because I was like, oh, because if I were to come 10 years from now, I'll be like, oh, I forgot I had to do that. I forgot we were talking about that. So we document for the future, right? We document for those
Chronicles of CJ Charles.
Y Jessie Feliz también. Yeah, let's we definitely have to collab in person. I think it'd be a good mix of good stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely will send you all the resources I have for editing in Spanish and stuff like that. So don't let me forget.
Yes, I can't wait. And once that's coloring book and activity book, let me know. Yo tengo un grupo de chiquitos. Sí. I think we need un poquito más tiempo, but I'm thinking for them definitely around I think I'm going to start reading this to them in the fall when we come back. Okay. But I'm definitely thinking around La Navidad going into El Año Próximo. I want to get them to the position where they can start reading it themselves.
Absolutely.
So we'll be there. So again, everybody, please, por favor. Oh, lo siento, mi amor.
No. Dile.
Everyone, you have to get this book. It's such a good book. My mother is a superhero. Mi mamá es una superheroína. And you have to follow CJ at my_mother_is_superhero in Instagram. She has her link there for you to get this. DM her. She has so many awesome different forms of merch for you to check out that relate to her librito. I did not know I had a tattoo, boo. I saw that and I was like, oh, maybe she made a typo. Nope, it's a tattoo. When my daughter gets back later on this week, I will definitely be.
I didn't know. I'll send you some more stuff. You are so funny. I call it the superhero starter pack. So I'll send you the official superhero starter pack.
That needs to be a link. That's what I'm saying. I got some link tree. That needs to be a link tree. En serio. No hay excusa, queen.
Sí. Yes. No, I take all suggestions that are valuable from valuable people, and I will have it up. I literally so much going on. But thank you so much for your support, friend.
Yes, te quiero mucho. Sweet. So proud of you. Y nos vemos pronto. Chao.
Hey, tengo un secreto. Escúchame bien por un rato.